I believe in this 20-minute strat.
I will go the opposite direction. I'm going to go for EVOS, but my opinion doesn't really matter. So with that said, Shannon and Brax, why don't you guys take it away for game one?
Thank you so much, Mont. I really, really appreciate it. And you know what? Now that I can open up the scoreboard, I can finally mute every fucking player in this game. What? It doesn't work! I can still hear it! What is this? Wait, is it text or audio? Oh, maybe it's both.
Both.
Okay. Tell me when they do it next time. Brax, joining me. How's it going? How are you, friend?
Good. I'm fantastic. This should be quite the game. It's one of those games where one team's playing this lineup that's like trying to snowball and end the game super fast, so you can really see if they're on track or if something deters them from that. And it's pretty easy to like, once you see like the pace of the game, it's pretty easy to tell who's gonna win this kind of game.
Oh, did you know you could spray paint the DOTA2 logo?
No.
I don't think I've seen that
Where?
spray paint. Do you see that in the bottom? I'll ping it. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see it in the fog now,
I don't
unfortunately.
Oh god. I also
used to walk
reconnected,
over there.
so maybe it was there before.
I'll let you know next time I see it. Is the runes will be spawning? Looks like the bramble's going to be placed to keep Void at bay. He's going to time walk to safety. Did get the bounty rune for himself. Congratulations to him. Really love Dota and the bounty rune system, don't you, Brax? You can't even tell if I'm being sarcastic.
You are being sarcastic. What's wrong with you?
I might not be sarcastic. I don't know. I actually don't even have an opinion, so I'm not being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I like them. You have something to fight for at level 1 now. Sometimes you see some cool plays where people, you know, they duke it out. They kill a hero for about 150 gold, and they realize, why did I do this? It's just not worth it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. What about the, do you like the 5-minute increments?
I think I do like it because Dota's in a weird place at the moment where, like, you can't end the game with first Roche, so you, like, sit around and hang out till the second Roche. And then in the meantime, you're just like collecting bounty runes. So like if you're winning, your entire goal is to just pick up bounty runes so you can extend your lead. Or else you're not actually doing anything. No, I don't see it. Oh, I do see it.
All right,
really
there you
cool.
go. Yeah, what level do you have to be to get that spray paint? That's the only good one.
I just got it on like a level 115, so...
100 oh, I should have it.
Or I don't know. I got it somehow.
Actually, guys, it's default for if you don't have a favorite team selected.
Oh,
it was
okay,
added
so that's
with
a new
the
addition.
compendium. Yes.
All right.
So everyone has it
Very
at
cool.
level 1. Congratulations.
I like that.
I can't wait to use it.
Now cast the game.
Now the question is, if you've already picked a favorite, can you unfavorite it? Because in the past, you have not been able to do that.
There's a whole section where you can pick it and you can select none. Yeah, my favorite team is Fnatic. I have the Fnatic TP.
Well, now you're going to have to get rid of it to get that DOTA2 logo. Bottom lane, Skylark's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down first blood, go on the wave. Tioku Indra Uta. That's a great name, by the way. I look forward to saying that name over and over.
Your pronunciation was phenomenal.
Thank you. I am very culturally aware. I'm great at pronouncing things.
Is that sarcastic? Are you being sarcastic?
I was waiting for you to say something about it. As mid lane, Necrophos actually died. What do you think of Necrophos versus TA, just in general, 1v1?
I feel like TA destroys this lane, like really hard. Like in the beginning, Necro can farm okay, but when TA gets like 4 and 5, it gets really hard for Necro. And Necro is one of those heroes where you need to last it, or else you can't sustain a lane. So it could be a problem. But this hero is also so strong currently, just because of all the regen and Death Pulse actually does damage level 1 now. Like it's so much stronger early that this hero is amazing.
Bottom lane, we have Curse Crown being applied. The Void has already used Time Walk, so he's gonna have to baby his way away. I don't know what that even means, but the Echo Stomp will be in place. Didn't really need it, but this moment, iLogic has 5 tangos left.
Really hard to kill. That's why I'm a bit curious to see him mid, but it does make sense. It's good at killing heroes like Tidehunter and Visage just by ulting them. The hero's really good, just might not be that good against TA lane.
Oh, Frostbite up top. Cask is bouncing. Looks like Beastmaster wants to continue the pressure. The axes come out. I can't even see them on the map. Gracious me.
Oh my god.
They need to buff that hero apparently, but they will find the kill on Visage.
The CM
Beastmaster will be
so much
very
damage.
safe. Were you missing particles or was that just me?
That was just you. Sometimes the Beastmaster axes are invis though. Like I've noticed it when I'm playing. Something recently broke it.
Illogic bottom lane was left, running out of regen pretty quickly. Actually, they're going to continue the pressure. Tiako Indra Uta Right-clicking, Boombastiel. We'll walk away to safety, though. I'm trying not to get too excited. Looks like he'll live for the time being. As Ajit... I mean, this is the one player I actually... Other than, like, the Westerners, the one player I actually recognize the name of. So I assume he probably has the mechanical advantage in the mid lane. I could be wrong, though, of course. Beastmaster in the top lane will be casked. And slowed a bit as well. Maledict to follow. There comes a soul assumption. See how much he takes down. Does have his bottle charges, so we'll live to see another day. Gets quite low, though.
He does, but it's shrine time, so no big deal. They're going to come back with full HP, full mana. And yeah, I do think IG is a bit better than Facehugger in the mid lane, just mechanically.
Oh, I didn't even realize his name was Facehugger. That's a great name.
It's,
Man, SCA really has great names.
You know, he messed up with his name. He didn't know he was supposed to just, like, not put his tag in front, because it, like, does that for you. So he's EVOS Facehugger. Just very passionate about his team.
Yeah. I've seen that from time to time. People are just very excited about their sponsors and whatnot. Well, Boombacks, as you like to call him, is on his way to the mid lane. Gets off the Bramble. Ajit, not feeling too comfortable going in. Gets one side blades off. Looks like the stun will be there, but again, the Elder Titan seems to be following every which gank, forcing everybody back. Oh, and a regen, though, for Facehugger. That is quite nice. And Ajit, he's going to be pressured again, but Refraction is popped. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana to speak of now, though. Looks like things are a bit of a stalemate now in the mid lane. As Void does get a little bit of pressure alleviated as a result of these rotations in a 1v1 battle versus the Tidehunter now.
Yep. The net worth is only 1k in the favor of EVOS, but they have a late game scaling lineup while Clutch Gaming, they're trying to they're trying to reach this point where they can just snowball and hit really hard. But for that, they need levels on Tidehunter. They actually need TA to have something useful as well. Needs more levels. And of course, Visage 6 is where it all starts. And he's actually, even though he did die once, his lane is perfectly fine. Like, he has 33 last hits. He's about to hit 6 pretty soon. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, and then the other side. Well, what is Visage looking like? Level 5 right now. Going for the fast medallion. How scary is this hero these days in terms of the mid-game potentials? You might have to wait on that. Comes another gank attempt. This time, Elder Titan is here being aggressive. The Echo Stomp will connect. Looks like the cast was used on the Beastmaster, but will live. TP support from Dark Willow now. And things will break up as a result of the rotation.
Yeah, Visage, he's one of these heroes where once you get 6, he becomes a whole new beast. The entire game changes. All of a sudden, this Beastmaster, Crystal Maiden... honestly, Visage can solo these two heroes and do perfectly fine and push them off creeps. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to get that. Nobody can lane mid against the TA just because she last hits everything and has traps everywhere. There's a sentry, but it's still dangerous to gank this TA because if she has a trap, they do like 250 damage. So, yeah, I mean, this is how it begins. The birds come out, all of a sudden this lane that you were trying to contest, you can't contest anymore. Visage went for a fast hood too, even before boosts, so he's super, super tanky.
Oh yeah, that's pretty dirty. And White Mon right now, is that his name?
That's his name.
Mon. Okay, just making sure. I don't want to say anything bad, although if it's about white people, I think I'm allowed to do that considering I am white after all. He's level 5 right now. Facehugger in the meantime, level 7 versus the TA who was jungling a bit, had a couple stacks of neutrals. Level 8 for Ajit. Top lane. Speaking of White Mon, looks like he will drop to the deck. And 3-2 advantage now for the Radiant. Clutch Gamers. Probably the favorites here, I would assume.
I really don't know.
Far, I actually have. I mean, I assume based on the fact that I recognize 2 players' names.
That's fair. That's fair.
Actually, Yul as well, I guess. 3 players.
You know,
the same team.
I've watched a lot of SCA Dota with Mott, and I can't remember which of these teams was better in the past.
They all blend together. It's all good.
Yep. Becomes one big blur.
Facehugger rushing the Rod of Atos. This gives amazing stats. And I think they just buffed this somewhat recently as well, right? Can't remember what exactly was changed, though. We'll see once he actually purchases
costs 100 less gold.
That's it? Okay, maybe
That's
not the
it,
hugest of buff. That's when Ice Frog is saying, yeah, this item's actually good enough. Just start buying it, guys. As Ravage is going to be used onto 2, Gush to follow. Crystal Maiden looks like it'll be the first to fall. If that's all they get, that is not a good exchange there for the ultimate. His Facehugger, though, he comes in from the side, gets off the Ghost Shroud, takes a Gush to the face. They're just completely surrounded. But here comes the Chronosphere onto 2. Where's the follow-up damage? There is the Necro ult. That is going to be ridiculous regen for Facehugger now. As Ajit will be the second to fall, and there's the Beastmaster Roar on top of Skylark. All right. So, EVOS.
So, obviously they died with 3 people, and that's not a good thing. But Chronosphere's down for 2 minutes. Right, this is go time. This is when you run at the bottom lane, take this tower. You have the siege creep still out too, so you have a chance to actually save those things. But it looks like there is no like sense of urgency at all from the Dire. Like everyone's just content with farming. Nobody's actually trying to make a play while this Chrono's down, which is it's pretty strange. You know, usually that's like the big timing window that you have to make things happen. So yeah, that's not good.
Well, 86 seconds on the deck for that Chronosphere. I mean, looking at the thing I look at with a lot of these teams these days is not stacking up too much on the really long cooldown ultimates. And you got Ravage obviously for clutch, and then for EVOS, I guess you got Chrono. I don't think Necrophos is really considered very long. Beastmaster's Roar is pretty low as well. So it's really just one major cooldown on each respective side.
Yeah, that is true. And then actually, we have Gabby on the Visage rotating bottom lane to push the tower. I really don't think you can defend this tower, but it looks like, yeah, boys just keeping out. They know this tower is dead. They're just going to try to stall as much as possible. But ET is fantastic for stalling these pushes, especially when you can't actually gank him in the back.
Yeah, well, as a result of this, the Tier 1 tower will likely fall next, along with the Willow, as Fortification is popped. I believe that was for the mid lane more than anything, as Facehugger is face-hugging this tower for the moment. Ajit has his Treads, has his Aquila. Will likely... Do people go for Blink first or Deso?
On TA?
Yeah, or is it just interchangeable, like depending on what they...
It's interchangeable, depending on how good your game is. If you're absolutely free farming, people will usually rush the Deso just because it makes you farm faster. But, I don't know, he could die to this Atos.
Yeah, the Atos is there. Elder Titan ult to follow. Do they have vision? Doesn't look like it. They're just running away. Whitemon is there with the slowest movement speed in the game, other than Tree and Protector. Now that I think about it, Tiako Indra will be destroyed. And that'll be that. Only 1 kill, despite many ultimates being used. By many, I mean 2.
Rest in peace, Tiako.
Okay, after this... Well, I say after. The Atos is done. He's going for Treads. What is Necro buy? Like Blink? Do you actually go Ags on this hero?
You do go Ags.
Oh, that's
it
nice.
Makes the cooldown so low. You can...
What is it, 20 seconds? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. When it's level 3, I think it's 20 seconds.
That's so disgusting.
But yeah, people die for longer once you ult them now. It's longer than before, so it's 45 seconds at max level.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Echo Stomp onto 3, but of course they don't have a ton of follow. But there's a Chronosphere, and the Necro will take out the Tidehunter. Looks like Dark Willow was going to be doing a decent amount of damage, but the Ghost Shroud keeping Necro very healthy. Dark Willow with that second ultimate of hers being used to full effect as everybody attempts to run away. Ajit does get a kill, but falls shortly after. It's a 2 for 1. The Void, the only casualty so far for EVOS, as Facehugger really wants one more kill before he falls. And looks like he'll get just that. Echo Stomp just a tad too late. So a 2 for 3 in the end. I say in the end. Beastmaster just continuing. They take out 4 out of the 5. Visage, the only survivor for clutch. Better be careful. Of course, they still have Ravage. He died inside the Chronosphere. That's exactly what you want if you're EVOS.
Yeah, EVOS. They're bringing the fights to clutch gamers every single time. This is fantastic. This is exactly what you want to do. When you have the team trying to reach late game, you can't just sit back and passively farm. Unless you make moves, and the enemy is going to, like... If you can bring the fight to their tower, that means that it's going to take them longer to get to yours, right? Even if you happen to lose the fight or trade 3 for 3, then still people are going to respawn at like 20, 30 seconds at this stage of the game. You're going to be able to defend. It's very good play from them.
And this is all before Tidehunter even comes close to a Blink Dagger, we'll be going for, I assume, a mech coming up, or they could be a casual buckler, I suppose. As illogic. We'll time walk to safety. But not being able to crack and shell the old Chronosphere is going to be... It's basically about who initiates first, right? Depending on how crucial those ultimates are going to be as this game progresses. Oh, Facehugger, this is my kind of build. So he's going to be going for 4 stuff, and if he stays true to his heart, that Radiance, that is my kind of build, Brax.
It's just so good when you can actually get there. You know, the 4-staff is really smart because look at the initiation and how they want to start a fight. Well, down bottom, actually, a logic. They found him in the trees, but...
Yeah. They see him. Brambles are used. The Bedlam as well. Dark Willow, pretty good hero for this. Time Walk's just a short distance. I assume... Oh, Echo Stomp onto 2. Time Walk is available again. Elder Titan's can use his ult, and they will finish off the Witch Doctor. So somehow Illogic wins. It's almost illogical.
He got... I got it. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
That's when I give you a high five, but not today. He tanked Ravage, Dark Willow ultimate, stuck in the trees forever, and he lived. And they turned it around. It's completely, like... when you do that, when you commit so heavily for a core hero and you just can't kill him, like, you lose all your momentum. Now he's just going to sit there, push back the wave. That was so much wasted time from Clutch Gamers. They are not on par.
Time Walk level 4 is pretty obnoxious, though. What is it? 6-second cooldown. And in terms of stuns, obviously they have a Ravage. If they can chain the birds, I mean, they got Bramble, they got Cast. They have decent options. But the fact that he was in the trees made it all the more difficult, obviously.
Yep. I just wanted to illustrate, like, how much easier it is for EVOS to take a fight. They have so many things they can, like, fish for initiation. Like, you have the ET Spirit, the CM slow from, like, 1,000 range away. Beastmaster Roar for that actual hard lockdown with Chronosphere. And on the side of Clutch Gamers, you have Ravage, which is pretty hard to use until you have Blink Dagger, because you're not going to be able to just walk in the middle of 5 heroes and use it. And then you have, like, Cast. It's not very reliable at all.
It can be, though, if you have good RNG.
It can, but stretch. It's difficult.
Oh, Skylark, he's trying to go in here. Doesn't have Ravage for another 40 seconds. Necro ult is there. That is enough to take him out. Chronosphere onto 1 on the sideline. Look at this canceled ult from Boombacks. Not going to matter. They're going to get the Witch Doctor as well, as this is getting out of control in favor of EVOS. As they're diving past this Tier 2 tower, they will get this at the very least. The Tier 1 tower being pressured by Ajit, who now has the Blink Dagger. And Facehugger, he's continuing. Looks like he uses Atos on the bird. They really want that little guy. Those things are pretty obnoxious, obviously, and they don't really... I guess they don't really have the greatest of spells for it. I think Frostbite's pretty good, I would assume. Can you cast the stone form while frostbitten?
Pretty sure you can.
Can or cannot?
Can, but I'm not.
Can.
I'm not positive. So that's my way of saying I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. I always ask the weird mechanics questions that nobody ever actually knows. And I pride myself in stumping the best of the best, Brax, on a consistent basis.
Well, Shannon, you got lucky on this one because with the change to roots, you know, you're not supposed to be able to, but it might not apply to the birds.
Right. Ajit's getting pretty close to finishing Deso, just needs another Mithril hammer. Mithril hammer. But yeah, you're right. The initiation for EVOS is pretty filthy. You got the single target Beastmaster Roar. You got obviously Chronosphere with all the follow-up damage, especially that Necro ult. Not to mention Echo Stomp, which is probably the most obnoxious thing on their team. Did they just smoke here?
Yep.
Not
they
sure
were
if
smoked. They placed the ward, then the Necro saw the ward placed and just 4-staffed away.
Oh boy, that's rough. Well, the Tier 1 tower will be killed at the very least for Clutch. I feel like this game would be... I know it's easy to say now, but... it would be totally different if there wasn't an Elder Titan. He just changes the way you play.
Yes, definitely.
Crazy
You can't
hero.
just run from tower to tower against Elder Titan. It takes so long, and it's so difficult to fight into. The nice thing, though, is they have an Atos on Visage, so they have a reliable way to start fights. Some sort of initiation that makes the enemy team react to them. And, they have a lineup where if they get a couple kills and they snowball, Roche is going to die extremely fast, and they'll have this Aegis on TA, and they can keep rolling from there. But still, it's not easy because EVOS, they're ready to fight. You know, they don't have BKBs or anything, but they can fight all the time.
It was so a failed smoke into another smoke for Clutch, but they're not going to find anybody. They will get a couple of the runes and end up trading off with EVOS, who have smoked themselves. Not sure if anything's going to come of this, at least not yet. And it looks like Gabby on the the Visage also has an Atos to work with. And Force Staff is complete on Facehugger, as they're going to absolutely destroy that illusion.
You know,
he's working on his Radiance.
You never see Atos, and in this game we have 2 Atoses.
Yeah, it's weird. It is very, very weird, as Roshan is going to go down pretty fast if Clutch doesn't get here in time. Skylark does have Ravage, but no Blink yet. Oh, they're actually going to abandon here. Logic, he's going to find Skylark. The question is, will he try for a solo Chrono? Nobody's even close on his team, so highly doubtful.
Yep, there's no damage at all.
Force out the pipe, or the, I guess it's a hood.
So the lineup, the Dire lineup, heavily revolves around having Roshan because they are trying to snowball and take towers and take fights, so they can extend it into even more with their lineup. But if EVOS somehow manage to take it away from them, it's going to halt their progression a lot. So they smoke up again. This is their 3rd smoke in a span of like 2.5 minutes. This
I
is
assume they're out of smokes.
Yep.
This is what the game would look like if there were no cooldowns on smokes.
It'd be wonderful.
Would it?
I think, yeah, you just fight forever.
But you wouldn't even use it to fight all the time. You'd use it just to hide.
Hide and do what?
Hide in the trees. They can scan you.
That sounds awful.
Actually, I have no idea. It does sound awful. It's a terrible strategy. I remember when smokes were first introduced, I was like, my first impression was not positive. I will admit. Was not a fan.
You know, change is hard for everyone.
Yeah. Same with Scan. I had a similar idea about Scan as well. Just feels like a very StarCrafty, especially the name. Why not? Why not reveal or just something more Dota? You know.
Scan is very StarCrafty, but you know, Scan's subtle, unlike Smoke.
Oh, Terrorize is coming out, but the Aegis is claimed by Necrophos. So EVOS are very happy with that trade. And Ajit does have the Desolator, by the way. So ready to try to blow some people up. Skylark also has the Blink, so they will have initiation possibilities. They're only down 4K. It's not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination.
No, definitely not. But it was so important for IG on TA to get the Aegis because there are disables that go through BKB in this game that he could never itemize for. Roar and the Chronosphere. Like, he can get BKB and Lincolns against Roar, but it's definitely not ideal. It's not what he wants to aim for in this game. It's more of like, oh, I have to get this or else we're going to lose. So, yeah, without the Aegis, you can't really play against the Chrono. Like, unless you kill Void like they're doing now.
Oh, the Blink Ravage in the bot lane. Illogic does time-lapse. Or time-lapse. It's not Weaver, if only. Gets the Chronosphere off. Time walks again and will TP out to safety. So a Chrono for a Ravage, not the worst thing in the world, but obviously the kill would have been what Clutch really wanted. And a heavy commitment as far as numbers.
Yep, super, super heavy commitment. When you use that many heroes and you don't get a kill, that's when the, you know, enemy team's kind of just laughing.
You know, Brax, I'm going to have to correct you.
Uh-oh. On what?
You said you can't itemize for these ultimates. First and foremost, on TA, you can get a Ghost Scepter for Chronosphere, okay?
Okay.
Have you never seen that before?
I have. Like once in like 1,000 games, yeah.
How did it work?
It didn't work well. It saved them for like 3 seconds, but it just doesn't work with how the hero wants to play the game.
That's too bad.
It's like a playing to not lose item rather than playing to win.
Yeah. Never a fan of that. All right, well, looks like EVOS wants to push. Facehugger in the front line with that Aegis. The Blinking by Scholar, of course, no Ravage to work with. Cask is actually really good on top of the Brambles, but no follow-up. At least not yet. They know Chrono's down, they know Ravage is down. Both teams fully aware of this. And BKB is being worked on by both Ajit and Illogic. Illogic's actually somewhat close to finishing it. And that'll help quite a bit, obviously, considering they don't have like a Beastmaster Roar or anything like that to counteract it. Well, tier 2 at about half HP right now.
Yep. The push from EVOS is really slow because they don't want to overcommit into these heroes and lose, but they are keeping Clutch Gamers grouped as 5. Meaning they're not scaling, they're not getting to those key items like the BKB on TA or anything like that, so they're doing a lot. It's good. And now they do this, and then they collect 4 bounty runes, so they're winning.
Oh, boy. That's a lot of gold. It looks like... Is it Avil? So his sponsor is Nemo TV.
Okay,
his
just
name is
him?
Avil, I guess. I mean, that's how sponsorships go. They ask for specific players. It's not usually a full team, unless it's a major sponsorship. Just so you know, Brax, that's how it works.
Okay, keeping me up to date. I know it's been a while for me.
Oh no, Shagbark was destroyed by Facehugger. He actually has enough for his Sacred Relic, but we'll see if he ends up purchasing that or holding on to the actual gold. Oh. A lot of damage actually be done to Dark Willow, despite not being targetable. Facehugger not really wanting to even bother using that ult, because they'll find that kill quite easily. Illogic, he's following Ajit. If he gets one more, he could find this kill. Ajit's going to start out with a couple right clicks, but Mask of Madness was popped by Illogic, so can't cast spells anyway. And Skylark,
just toying
pretty
with them.
close by. As the birds continue the pressure onto Crystal Maiden, who gets the haste rune. No longer the slowest hero in the game. Yol looks like he will be the first casualty here, but Skylark with a big ravage onto several heroes. That is 1 kill right after that, and that is on the Void. Very important. But the Roar to follow onto TA, into the Elder Titan. Will absolutely destroy them. Necro ult as well. It's a 2 for 2. Skylark down with absolutely no mana. Will attempt to run away. Beautiful ult. Terrorize use on a couple heroes. As Bramble to follow. What an annoying fucking hero. Skylark jumps in a nice anchor smash as well. And Facehugger, all the while, still holding on to that Aegis. Skylark will fall. And Gabby getting quite low. As the slows will continue from the dead TA. And finally, Dark Willow drops to the deck as well. So it's a 4 for 3. As Gabby again will live. Aegis still intact. As I say that, it is now taken for Roshan's bowels.
Wow. What a fight. They actually managed to ravage and kill the Void before he did anything in the fight, and they still lost.
Yeah, that's like best case scenario. Getting that Void immediately. How did they kill him so fast?
They just blink ravaged him, and Visage was there with damage for once.
I mean,
Oh, man.
he does have BKB now. That wouldn't have helped him there, though. I don't think you're going to get... I assume you're not that quick with your fingers. You never know, though.
That's true. You never know.
Technically
There's a lot of factors that come into play. If you see
A lot
the
of
Tide
macros.
Hunter,
Yeah.
yep, those are banned.
A macro for your BKB? That doesn't even make sense.
There are macros for that.
What? What do you mean?
There are.
How does a macro help with BKB?
Okay, not a macros, but there are scripts for that.
Oh, scripts. Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
different.
When you get
That's
blinked
totally-
on. Sorry.
When
There's
enemy is in 100 range of me, pop BKB.
Yeah.
All right. Dark Willow gets off the Shadow Realm, and he just dies. Wow.
Radiance is online.
Yes, it is.
So that was a fight where Necro didn't have a Radiance, and now he does. So he's a whole Radiance stronger.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Oh, Chronosphere only onto 1. Skylark is rooted right now. The Elder Titan ult will come into effect, and TA dies immediately. Does have buyback onto Ajit. Gabby's continuing to do a lot of damage from the high ground. Illogic gets a bash. These birds are getting 2 3-man stuns, so really well played from Gabby. Barely takes any damage from that Necro ult, but will die regardless. And that is a dead Dark Willow again. And with only Tide Hunter living through this engagement, you have to think this is the beginning of the end of game 1 of this best of 3. Ajit going to follow in with that beautiful Ravage by Skylark. They will get the Void. Can they get more? The Crystal Maiden's next on the list. Skylark attempting to run away, but way too much damage coming his way. As the buyback really working out for Ajit so far. But can he finish these heroes off? Looks like Facehugger will die. So a great defense here from Clutch Gamers, as they will find one more kill for themselves. Okay, they kept their buildings alive. And Ajit gets a shit ton of gold.
Yeah, tons of buybacks coming out, or just 2, right? The TA and Witch Doctor, it looks like. But yeah, that's all it takes. The games are so difficult to end, but now, without buybacks, if they do happen to die, if you get Reapered on TA after you've already bought back, your respawn time's like 3 minutes.
Yep.
It's insane.
And I would say it's pretty likely this is going to happen because we have... I mean, all you need is the Shadowblade Roar and one follow-up, and that's a dead TA.
Yep, agreed. It's very easy for them to open up on this TA, even with her BKB. Like, it only looks so good then because all the spells are on cooldown after the previous fight.
Mm-hmm. I know that you were talking about how you don't want to play to not... Or play to lose versus playing to win. Or, sorry, play to hold on, right, as a defense thing. Where Ajit... Is there any way that Lincoln's is a good item this game for him?
I don't think he can afford to go for a Lincoln's this game at all. I think
he just has to stick with his team then, right?
Yeah, he needs to like sit back and wait for these spells and then jump in afterwards. Like he can play off the Ravage and then try to burst someone through that, then kind of reset and wait for the Roar. But the best way to do that is just to either build damage or go for like an Orchid Nullifier style build, so you can be the one that starts the fights like that. But yeah, it's not easy at all. It's very difficult.
I mean, so far this game, they have not really been the aggressors. It has definitely been EVOS for the most part. What are your thoughts on... I'm pretty sure we've talked about this at some point. We've seen a lot of this game, is the faking of Terrorize. Do you like that?
No, it's super annoying. If you're a carry and someone's faking Terrorize, you're pretty much just pressing your BKB.
Yeah.
It comes real quick.
But the hero isn't OP. Is that the problem? Like, if this hero ever becomes, or is ever considered completely overpowered, that's probably one of the first things they quote-unquote nerf, right?
I agree. Yep. That's one of those things in the game that's like a feature. You know, it's not necessarily a bug, but it feels like it shouldn't be in the game.
It's one of those things that is a bug. They just never bothered fixing it because it's not OP. It's just like Centaur Return on Illusions. That was in the game for years. People started finally abusing it, and then they, instead of saying nerfed it, they fixed a bug. Apparently, it was a bug. Oh, Necrophos doesn't have BKB or anything. He's actually taking a ton of damage. Looks like he will drop very quickly. They didn't have to expend pretty much anything. I mean, Bedlam is super low cooldown. That was a big buff for her somewhat recently, as Aurora is actually used by Avil. But it looks like they will find this kill eventually. So 2 great kills for Clutch. And they're ping on Roshan. That would be a big pickup if they're able to get it. Yeah, well, this is the comeback right here. Look at the gold swing all of a sudden. Yeah. Pretty much have an even game. TA is gigantic now. She almost has a full Daedalus. With Aegis and a Daedalus picked up, they definitely have a good chance in this game. That's all it takes. Basically that it was that one buyback from Ajit, getting those multiple kills, and then just finding these 2 pickoffs right now into a potential Roche. If you can ever pick off a big core hero like that at this stage of the game, it's so rewarding. You get a ridiculous amount of gold. Ajit, he actually used his Blink Dagger. I think that was to dodge the Echo Stomp. Illogic. Oh, if he gets this, he gets the Chronosphere up, but Ajit does get the Aegis. Terrorize is used to little to no effect because they are chronoed. Yol, in the meantime, getting off his Death Ward. Doesn't channel for very long. And the chase will continue. It looks like Illogic will be able to time walk to safety if he needs to, as the death finally comes for Elder Titan to that Maledict. So Clutch coming in pretty clutch, actually. Ajit able to quickly... I mean, that was a really fast chrono, I have to say, after the Roche kill. That was almost picture perfect, but still wasn't enough. Yep, it was a tiny bit too slow. They didn't see the Roche health until it was already too late. Like, if they would have gotten vision of the Roshan, like, maybe a second ahead of time, they probably could have timed that perfectly, where the Earth Splitter comes on over the top, but ended up getting stunned by the Dark Willow, Cursed Crown. And, yeah, I mean, I feel like Clutch got super lucky with that fight. It could have gone very poorly with the lost the Aegis. And the cheese is online for Gabby on the Visage. I mean, that is a hero you will not be able to kill, basically. Very, very difficult. Echo Stomp coming in very shortly. But the tower is taken. They know Chronosphere is down for another 40 seconds. They do force out a fortification for this tier 3 top. And Boombacks He actually can buy a Blink Dagger if he wants. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I assume he's just been buying all the wards, but Dark Willow does farm pretty fast. Although Yol... Yeah, Yol's
got
way
some
more
items.
farmed.
Yeah, this guy hasn't been buying wards. He has Glimmer and almost a Spirit Vessel.
Oh, Illogic. He wants this rune. Is it worth? Looks like Skylark will take it. And they'll end up just trading. Now, that is a silver edge. So Skylark does need to keep that in the back of his mind now for the rest of the game.
Yep. The
course,
silver edge. It's a huge
It's
Visage
difficult
counter.
though, right? Oh, that's true. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it's mainly for the Visage rather than the Tide. Like, it's nice against Tide, but once you break the passive on Visage, the hero just melts. He can
Now,
just...
correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's difficult to get that off though, because...
Yeah, it is. For
I mean,
sure.
you can tell me what's more realistic. I feel like for Void, you typically get the Shadow Blade, and you time walk out of the Shadow Blade a lot of the time to Chrono.
Yep. Well, that is definitely the easiest way to use it. He might just try to Chrono without using the Shadow Blade, and then hit him inside the Chrono with it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yep, Terrorize used. Facehugger is dead again. That Radiant's not doing a whole lot for him right now. Oh, they actually chronoed for the birds.
Oh.
And it's down for... Oh, he just popped it again, though. Can you not... You can pop it while it's stunned, right?
Yeah, you can.
He gave them all up. What do you think about that, chronoing birds?
I missed the beginning of it. I assumed he was trying to chrono a hero, and the hero TP like went through it, and he happened to catch the birds there.
Maybe.
Definitely not worth when your Necro just died, because now you have no Necro and no chrono. Necro has no buyback, too.
If he had Ags, it would be worth, though, right?
Sure. Yeah, if he had Ags, it'd be worth, but he doesn't.
Good.
That's just... Ags are just so good.
Ags on everybody is so good.
Yep, Visage has an Ags. He's got 3 birds now.
Looking forward to the TA Ags being picked up here shortly.
Yep.
As the tier 3 is being completely decimated. Solar Crest applied to Ajit now. Very difficult to kill. Look for Aurora to come out pretty shortly. But again, like you said, no Chronosphere, so the follow-up will not be great. And of course, Ajit still has that Aegis intact. It's going to be a tough defense, but of course they do have Elder Titan, the master of high ground defense. The birds will survive. If they can get these birds, that's a pretty big deal, because they are down for another 60 seconds.
Yep, the birds just stomped in Nova.
Oh, and Logic jumps in with that BKB. Zoning Ravage is used. Elder Titan ult onto 2 heroes. Looks like they will be able to get Ajit. It's going to be close, but the Age is still there. A beautiful Terrorize, and my lord, that damage. Crystal Maiden completely drops to the side blades. Beastmaster's next. They're going to have to buy back in full succession here. Ajit does use the Aegis. And we'll back up to safety. The cheese looks like it was used as well. I assume it was used by Gabby since he was holding it earlier.
Yeah, I think he used it. All right, well, you can just see the level of discipline, right? When clutch gamers go high ground, they know buybacks are coming out, and they're not diving. They're not going ridiculously crazy, even though Chrono's still on cooldown. They play it safe, they take the tower, they bait out a buyback, and they just bring it right back. TA has 5,000 gold to spend. Yeah, Visage has 4K as well. They have a ton of gold in the bank at the moment.
It's not often you see a buyback completely turn the tide of the game. I mean, maybe if there's like a Spectre or a hero that can... TA buyback against, what was it, 3 heroes earlier in that top lane? I feel like that just completely changed the game.
No, I completely agree. Like, they had no business winning any sort of team fight unless there was some sort of base dive into a buyback play coming out. And, I mean, TA is a network leader. She's about to have a nullifier, so now you can actually deal with Faceless Void. You can burst him that way.
Oh
it also removes the Ghost Shroud on Necro and the Aeon Disc if you wait for it to pop. So they just have so many more tools to work with in these fights now. Like, we were talking about lack of catch, but they've built items around it, and now it looks much better.
Oh boy. The Logic uses Shadow Blade. Looks like he's gonna just BKB TP. Will do so successfully. And same with the Elder Titan. So if you use Nullifier, you said on Aeon Disc, it has to be after it's popped?
Yes, when it's active, that's when you use it.
So you use it, so instead of 2 seconds of invulnerability, is it 2 seconds?
Yep.
It's like 1.5 if you can do it pretty fast. Because there's a projectile on...
Yep, there's a
Nullifier.
projectile. Ideally, you can blink next to him and use it, but it's difficult. But yeah, it just makes the item a bit weaker. And it also counters the Ghost Shroud because it just purges it instantly.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Is this an item that you're a fan of, just in general?
Yeah, I think it's very good. It's like,
Really?
yeah, this item, it changes the dynamic of late game. Like, you get jumped on these heroes that you think are safe, and then all of a sudden you can't do anything. It just shuts you down entirely.
Wait, what item are we talking about?
Nullifier. Are you talking about Aeon Disc?
No, I'm talking about Eon Disc.
Okay.
Because
Well, I'm
I
talking about
hate it.
Nullifier.
I hate Eon. I like Nullifier. I hate Eon Disc.
Why do you hate it?
Because it's like a get out of jail for... Okay, this is my problem with it. And if they can balance it around this, then I'd be fine with it. I like the idea of it is fine that, you know, these squishy heroes can get something that lets them survive for like 2 seconds. But I don't like these games that, like, 1 hour in, half of each team has an Eon Disc.
Yeah, it's
And
very common.
It makes it so hard and it's so boring, you know? I feel like something needs to be done about that, but I don't know how you balance towards just that specific scenario, you know?
Yeah, I don't either. That's when you implement the old Dota 1 rule where you can only have X amount of items on your team.
Oh,
The
man.
gentleman's
What was
agreement.
it? 2 Necros?
It's like
Was it
2
1 or
hexes,
2 Necros?
2 Necros or something.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That just shows you how good Necros were back then. And Sheep. That's great. Or the days that you could... Oh, we're going to have to hold that thought. Oh, beautiful Ravage is used onto the Void. He's not going to be able to get off the Chronosphere as of yet. He will die 85 seconds, and that means the retreat needs to come immediately for EVOS. The Eon Disc does activate, but
God.
Necro still dies shortly after. That Ravage, that was partial luck. He did not see Void.
Whew. You know, Dota, sometimes luck plays a factor, right? There's a lot of skill involved, but there
Yeah.
are some RNG elements and just lucky things, right? Void died without doing anything. Tide just refreshed, by the way, so they might not see that in Fog, but he also has no mana after he refreshed. What's he going to do there?
He'll find it, don't worry.
All right, he's regenning.
Somebody
slow
has
and
mana
steady.
boots. Do they?
No, he's got
he
clarity.
just mana
He
pot,
came
okay.
prepared. And
And now he's going to be buying a 42-minute Arcane Boots.
Yep, got to get that mana pool up. Nicely done.
And looks like they'll just go for the safe play. Roche with Refresher Shard. Skylark is probably regretting using his Refresher now.
Yep.
But I assume he will have
completely
another
agree.
one to work with here. Is there any way you give it to somebody else, the Refresher Shard?
Who else? I don't think
The
so.
birds?
Maybe TA
If
for
they die
double
twice?
BKB.
Hmm.
That's about it, though. But triple
Skylar
Ravage,
just take it.
how can you pass that up, honestly? Isn't it? Wait, is it triple or is it 4 Ravages? Quadruple.
What? How would it be quadruple?
You blink Ravage, refresh Ravage, then you use the Refresher Shard to refresh your Orb.
No,
then
it
you have
doesn't work.
4.
It doesn't Refresher. That would be so OP. Oh, man.
Have you ever seen a game go on long enough to where there's multiple Refresher Shards?
No, because people, they're so antsy to use them, you know?
Yep.
Like, I gotta use... Well, plus, and it's not just like a... It's not a negative thing necessarily, because you want to get a slot open, because sometimes, like, I really need this slot for an item. A lot of wasted gold, but, I mean, it is Refresher Shard, so... That would be hilarious. I mean, back in the day, Tinker used to buy Manta style. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, he'd Manta, send him down the lane, then refresh the Manta.
Yeah, and it wouldn't kill
It
the
was
illusion.
awful.
Right? Yeah, that was... God, so many of these, like, really old mechanics that back then... I mean, even if you thought it was powerful, looking back now, you're like, that was so stupid. You know?
Yes.
Just so stupid.
I think it did kill the illusions, didn't it?
I don't think so, or else it wouldn't have been good.
It wasn't good, but people did it anyways.
No, I remember it was good for a time. A very short time, Brax, okay?
All right.
You know what was really good is farming a Divine Rapier for your Clinks and then giving it to
Oh,
him.
I remember that. You pull
And
in the rapier.
him buying 3 Aegises.
Yep, and then he just backdoors and ends the game.
Oh, Roar is used, but they have the dust, so the Shadow Blade will be to no avail. I'm actually surprised that he used Roar, because he's going to end up buying back here and
Yep,
not
and
having
then-
it for a while.
Yeah, it's a good point. He's gonna buy back with no roar available for like 30 seconds, probably. He was hoping he could live, just because it gives you move speed, but yeah. Pretty big waste there.
Now
God,
Skylark.
this game shifted so quickly, just off that one buyback play up top. But it's still Elder Titan, and the game's not easy to end.
Yeah. 15k network lead here for Clutch. Triple Ravage is going to be online in 5 seconds. There's the buyback. They know Roar is down from their 25 seconds. The Crimson Guard on buildings. Oh. Nice usage of Heaven's Halberd.
They'll waste the glyph as they're backing out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But they will back. They see Illogic in the top lane. Looks like this... Oh, he actually will not get the tower. There's no siege. All right, answer me this. Do you deny this tower? I assume no.
No, you don't.
Okay. Oh, Chronosphere. The game is at the point where he has to use it on Dark Wheel to get something out of it. Beastmaster dies, though, in the pit. Ravage being faked by Skylark.
He's got Refresh 1.
Oh, he's going to use it. Face Hugger. His TP has been canceled. He used his actual Refresher Orb. Eon disactivated, but this is going to be another death for Facehugger. Does have buyback, but Beastmaster does not, and they know it. Illogic should be able to get the tier 3 at the very least. See if he can force anybody back. Ajit's relatively close, so we'll pop the Butterfly.
He's setting up on him for a gank.
Yeah, if he can get the Nullifier off, this will be pretty big, but that will actually be a little bit difficult. Okay, never mind. Blink gets it off, slowing him as a result. Not going to be enough to actually kill him, though. And the time walk gets him to it. Yeah, I thought he did a lot more damage than that. Looks like the range racks will go down. In the meantime, middle lane for Clutch. They're going to apply a little pressure to this melee. They don't have Ajit with them. See how much damage they actually do to the buildings. With Gabby there, that is more than enough. As a TP out from Void. So it'll be a range for a melee. Obviously not a great trade, but still better than you would expect, considering how this game has been flip-flopped.
Yep, I agree, but it's not done yet, right? They can go for bottom lane too. The birds do a stupid amount of damage to these towers.
Oh. Necrophos does have buyback, but choosing to hold on to it for the time being.
There's still 2 Ravages. Like, TA's just going to walk down bottom lane and they can fight again if they want to.
Yeah. I mean, the game's going to go long. He's going to get 3 again. Another couple minutes.
They could wait for it if they really want to.
Not sure that's necessary. 20k lead. Obviously, they don't know exactly what their lead is, but they got to feel pretty good about themselves. And it's interesting to see that the Void was the one kind of split pushing top, as opposed to like a Beastmaster.
Yeah, it's true. Usually Beastmaster's the safer hero in that position because if you lose him, it's a bit more disposable compared to the Faceless Void.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Man, EVO's smoking out of their base. They know that if they just sit back and wait for this 3rd Ravage to come up, they're probably just going to lose the game anyways. So they're moving out. They see TA pushing out the top lane. This is a huge pickup if they can actually get it. They have Chronosphere, but where's the G going to go?
Oh, they see the blink potentially. Roar is available. Comes out. They don't even need Chronosphere. He is dead. Does have buyback, but down for 2 minutes if he's not going to use it. All right. Roshan's going to be... Oh, he may spawn in 2 minutes. That's the earliest.
Void actually went for the Chronosphere AoE. You know, this talent, it's one of those that can backfire quite often. Especially when you have, like, these heroes that aren't, like, the longest range, like Necro. You know, you might try to run an ult summon Chrono and just get caught by himself. Or he won't be able to hit someone in the Chrono. Usually you see the backtrack so you can't get bursted. Especially because he's already so tanky, this hero. If you can survive that initial jump and get your time walk off, nothing can kill you. But prioritizing the big Chrono, maybe it's good.
Skylark being hounded by this Astral Spirit does have 3 Ravages to use, and if he gets 1 off, expect the immediate buyback from Ajit. Oh, Chronosphere onto 2. He's going to try to go for the Tide Hunter. Gets the break off, and that's going to be a much easier kill. Gem drops to the deck, but the buyback immediately. We'll see if EVOS wants to back up or not. Skylark does get off 1 Ravage. Looks like the second is coming soon. Doesn't even need to use it. They will find the kill on both Necrophos and the Void and Elder Titan. That is 3 quick kills. And all they needed was 1 Ravage again. Oh, no. Sorry, he did use 2. He used the The shard.
He used the shard, but he didn't use the actual Ravage.
Yeah. Oh. It was... Wait, what do you mean? Oh, I see. Yeah,
yeah.
CS2 right now. Yeah, okay.
All right, well, all three of these heroes have buybacks, so maybe now it's time for Clutch Gamers to bait themselves into a team fight that they lose inside of EVOS' base. That's how the game goes in late game, honestly. It's just buybacks versus buybacks, because if you manage to kill them with buybacks, you're actually going to net more gold.
Buyback is such a double-edged sword. It's good and bad for the game in so many ways.
Yeah,
Very hard to balance around. 2 buybacks expended. There's the Atos, facehugger. Getting closer. Oh, there's the Ravage #1. Doesn't need the second one. That's a dieback. Here comes Void. He jumps in. Doesn't have Chronosphere for another 40 seconds or so. Another Ravage to follow. Onto 3. Terrorize to follow. They're back in the fountain. Bramble Maze. And that might be the end of game 1 as Clutch Gamers have the advantage. 4v2 should be able to take out these buildings as Ajit just deletes Crystal Maiden. Oh, I didn't see GG was called because I muted everybody. GG!